Hey, what's going on, guys? I know I said I was gonna be making another video, but update. I gotta make a video on this one. Basically, the new update is gonna be nerfing. I think it's already out. I don't know. Oh no, it's upcoming. All right. I'm reading from the page here. It's upcoming tank and liberator changes. Now, I just like to touch on this a little bit because I see many problems already. I'm not complaining. The lib versus tanks have definitely been improved upon, and definitely is a better than it previously was. But some changes were unnecessary, if I may say so myself. Now we're gonna read from here. Okay. Tank reverse. This is also about tanks. Tank reverse speed and acceleration will be identical to tank's forward speed and acceleration. That just makes no sense. I know it helps the tank, but last time I checked, most tanks don't actually. Tanks should be reversing slower than their forward speed. It shouldn't, like, tanks could just drive backwards now. That's just stupid. I mean, why would you want to do it? But you can now. But an increase in the relative speed of reversing would be okay, but making it identical to the forward speed and acceleration, that's I don't see that being a thing. And it's kind of a problem for me and maybe some other people. And it says gives tanks the ability to evade C4, blah blah blah, allows tanks to retreat without having to explode your armor. So also, last one thing, primary tank turrets will be stabilized. As a tank goes over rough terrain, the elevation of the turret won't change it unless it hits a constraint. That's pretty fine. It's a good buff right there. I've been seeing a lot of problems with that as well, except with the mag rate. I don't really see that much of the mag because it's kind of a floaty vehicle. Okay. Tank effective ranges are being reduced. This consists of adding gravity and slowing down projectiles. I don't really see the point of that, but okay, it's fine with me. Liberator changes. Here we come to the big stuff. It says for liberators we need to better balance the risk versus reward factor. Okay. Effective range of belly guns is being reduced. This consists of slowing down projectiles. May I say one thing? Air-to-air Daltoners have fun. Have a fun day. That's all I have to say. Yeah, air-to-air Daltoning just got a lot harder. Unless it's a lot less than I think it is, it's gonna be a pretty tough time. Because we know how SOE is. They like to nerf the crap out of stuff and then revert it back. So if I'm correct and they do nerf it to a good extent, it's gonna be a bad day for air-to-air Daltoning, especially for solo libbers. That's gonna be fun. I'm not gonna be using the shredder either. I'm just gonna stick with the Dalton, but yeah, that's gonna be a fun time. And also one thing this does is it kind of reverts your skills with the Dalton, because eventually after you've used the Dalton enough, it becomes kind of muscle memory, if you know what I mean. So like you kind of know how to lead the target. Basically, this is taking away all the skill that players have learned and just throw it away. If I'm reading this properly and it says they slowing down the projectiles, that means it's going to drop more, I think. And the projectile is going to slow down more. So, like, I can't really word this well. It's just basically going to make it a lot harder to lead targets, and that's going to be a big problem for me and other Daltoners. So we feel the current range makes it too hard for ground forces to defend against the Liberator and makes it too easy for the Liberator to escape once it comes under fire. How is it easy for the Liberator to escape when it comes to whatever? Lowering the range puts the Liberator more at risk and gives ground forces more time to respond, whether it is ducking for cover or returning fire. Okay. Better ways you could do this? Well, I couldn't think of one, to be honest, but I'll think of one later. Yeah. And plus, if you're a lib, well, one thing I will say about this, about ground forces getting rend arranged, basically a lib hovering at max altitude, nailing tanks. Number one, you're an easy target for flak, you're just sitting there. Number two, it is pretty difficult to actually hit moving ground targets if you're max altitude, which is what I'm thinking it's coming from. It's pretty actually difficult to hit a Dalton shot directly on a ground force if you're at max altitude, especially if they're moving. If they're sitting there, it's pretty easy, but if they're moving relatively well, then it's pretty difficult to actually hit them. So, just that. And what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, if you're just sitting there hovering, guess what happens when you hover in a liberator? Oh, that's right, enemy lib comes along and clips you in the face. Sneak attacks you and kills you. Yeah, that's what happens. So, oh yeah, that brings us to another thing. Where is it? Okay, I'm gonna find it. Oh, I'll find it in a second. Okay. Rules of belly guns are being better defined and receiving a reduction of ineffectiveness versus personnel, except for the Duster. Dalton is intended to be the premier anti-tank weapon, obviously. Zephyr will be similar to the Dalton, dealing slightly less damage, but being slightly better anti-personnel to its 6-round magazine. Zephyr should be... well, yeah, I'll just ignore that one. Shredder will be similar to the Zephyr in terms of tank damage, but by virtue of being a chain gun, it will be slightly better against fast movers, harassers, aircraft. What I'm seeing them trying to do here, what I see, is they're trying to kind of swap the Dalton and the Shredder. The Shredder is basically going to be your anti-aircraft weapon, and they're trying to put the Dalton into the anti-tank role. Now, this is not how you should do things. Keep the Dalton as your anti-tank and anti-air. Heck, remove the anti-tank thing and put the anti-tank onto the Shredder. I mean, the Dalton is just really fun to use against aircraft, even if you're missing. Kind of fun and funny. Or fun, sorry. Now, what you should be doing is making the Shredder either anti-tank, anti-infantry, or anti-air. Define it more. So your Shredder would be like your anti-tank role, or anti-air role. So basically what this will do is it gives an option to other newer players or players that aren't good with Dalton, another option for aircraft. Or keep the Dalton anti-air, or, you know, one-shotting area ESFs. Just, you get what I'm saying here. Next thing is surprising, well, not surprising, the Duster doesn't yet buff. Duster is intended to be premier anti-personnel weapon and will be receiving some buffs. Buffs, I don't know what type of buffs. Probably damage, probably AoE effect, or AoE, or blast radius, my bad. But really, yeah, that's about it. Yeah. And one last thing, ammo capacity is being lowered on all belly guns. I'll admit this was quite a bit of a problem. Not really that big of a problem, not really something people noticed, but basically you'd be able to sit in areas for a long time. Now, if you're going air to air, you actually run out of ammo very fast in a Dalton, even with running with 95 shots, which I run with. It was really hard, or you ran out of ammo really fast. So I could see this being a problem for air to air, but it's not like a bad problem, it's just a thing that's going to be a thing. But on to the stuff that I haven't read. Excuse me, I burped. Okay, the Bulldog will be receiving similar treatment that the belly guns are. Stop. Since when was the Bulldog overpowered? And since when was its role undefined? Okay then. Its effective range will be reduced and its role better defined. Right now, it's good at everything, including being better at anti-air than the Walker. Against libs, I could see that. Against ESFs not hovering, have a fun day. Hitting the ESF. Yeah, I don't really see this being a thing. We'll be reducing the projectile speed and possibly the blast damage. What? Okay. We'll be reducing the projectile speed and possibly the blast damage to push it towards its intended role of supplementary anti-ground weapon, reducing the blast damage to make it a better intended role for infantry. What? Does any of this make any sense? Just curious. And now to the fun part. The one that I'm... well, I'm probably more angry about the Dalton, but the one I see a unnecessary fix for the Tank Buster. The Tank Buster has a 90% equip rate and completely eclipses the other nose gun options. It is too effective against heavily armored targets. It has improper risk versus reward. Will be lowering its damage so that it's closer to the vector. It will be stronger, just not by such a huge margin. If it's still better than the vector, people are still gonna use it. Give the vector something better than the Tank Buster. I don't know. Maybe... maybe increasing the damage? Like, really? Increase the damage more than it currently is? I don't know. The only problem I have with this is fighting enemy air. This entire update hurts me. Or hurts all air-to-air libs. Maybe they want this. Maybe they're trying to hurt the air-to-air roll, but they're just not saying anything about it. But really what all this I see is doing is hurting air-to-air. It's completely fine against ground targets. I just see it hurting air-to-air. So basically, it will be strong. Yeah, they freaking just reduce the damage. No longer one-clipping libs. Have fun, kids. Have fun, all you newer pilots. You won't be able to clip libs anymore. Even though I do it a lot as well. Yeah. Finally, the improvements to Liberator stock resistance to tank rounds, and basically they're removing the buff they had to tank rounds. And wait, does it say anything about Dalton rounds? And oh yeah, rocket launchers. Basically, it's just reverting that change. It's completely fine. I see it being that's a pretty good buff factor. Nerf, my bad. Or nerf, sorry. God, I can't speak. Okay, and composite armor will still provide additional resistance, but will ultimately be less than the current version. That's good. All right. ESF changes. You know those lol pods everyone got nerfed a long while back, and now they completely suck at hitting or killing infantry. Yeah, those things. Yeah. Okay, moving along with the concept that the Liberator is becoming more anti-vehicle, there are some adjustments being done on the ESF. Wait, what? Moving along with the concept that the Liberator is becoming more anti-vehicle. What? This entire nerf is about nerfing it against vehicles. And you're saying it's becoming a more anti-vehicle role. Okay. There are some adjustments being done in the ESF side of things. Rocket pod effectiveness against vehicles is being reduced. They are all around too good. Okay. So they're all around too good, killing it, and good at killing infantry, not good at killing vehicles. Lowering their effectiveness against vehicles further defines the Liberator as the anti-vehicle air option. Yeah, I'm feeling they're actually trying to make the Liberator or nerf the lib against air. So they're more easy to kill by the air and making the ESF more effective against air. Yeah. So air hammer effectiveness against the Liberators and other armored vehicles will be reduced. Air hammer. Oh, okay. AH. Weapon is capable of doing too much DPS to these targets. Air hammer is fine where it was. It's not that overpowered. It's pretty fine actually. The air hammer effectiveness against Liberators and other heavy armored vehicles. Wait, the air hammer. Are they talking about the weapon air hammer or like the ESF being an air hammer against the libs? The air hammer effectiveness against Liberators and other heavily armored vehicles. God, that scared me. Will be reduced. I don't understand that. Okay, skip that one. Edit to conclude replies. Tank velocity. Details on tank velocity changes. No, don't really want to read that. So the mag rate will be least effective from the velocity change, okay. Racer will increase both forward and reverse speeds. Rival will no longer have a bonus to reverse speed. We realize this may cause Rival to become less attractive, and we've got some thoughts on how to improve the Rival chassis if this happens. the details on Liberator range up changes. Similar to the changes, we are using Zephyr as a baseline and intend to lower the Dalton match. Oh god. Yeah, you can say goodbye to Daltoning Air. We're using Zephyr as a baseline and intend to lower the Dalton match. Lower the Dalton match the Zephyr. Basically, they're making the Dalton. Okay, I'm back. Little interruption there. As I was saying, okay, I'm gonna reread it. Okay, where is it? Similar to the tank changes, we are using the Zephyr as a baseline and intend to lower the Dalton match the Zephyr. Basically, they're making the Dalton velocity the same as the Zephyr. I wish they would shut up. Currently, Zephyr has a velocity of 200 MPS, which is identical to a Magrider heat round. And we are considering bringing it down to 175, which will be identical to a HE tank round. Oh my god, this just pissed me off. Say goodbye to skill, say goodbye to everything, because the Dalton will no longer be effective against air-to-air. Yeah. The issue is not tank buster, it's too good. That the issue is not the tank buster, it's too good. It's the other nose guns are bad. Instead we should buff those. Simply reply to this tank buster is so far out of line compared to the other guns. First step, we need to bring us closer to the line. Once they get closer, better. Okay, yeah, that's about it. Basically, Liberator not going to be very effective against air anymore. That's what I got for this entire reading of this stuff. So, especially the Dalton. If they didn't change the Dalton velocity, I would be a happy camper. But no, they have to change it. On this sad note, for all you Liberator pilots out there and gunners, have a great day, peace out, and get ready for the bad nerf that's about to happen. Unless they change it, or unless I was reading something wrong, Lib's gonna get, or the Dalton's gonna get a heavy nerf against air. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.